Hello, and welcome to Pep Talks. Believe it or not, I am coming to you today all the way from Nouakchott in Mauritania. This is the furthest west I've ever gone on the African continent. I traveled to Dhaka, Senegal, to do some speaking and to do some networking, and decided, look, if I've come this far, I might as well, add Mauritania. And I'm here on some business, and it's been fruitful so far. But I've noticed a couple of things that made me decide to put this pep talk together. I'm actually taking this from Nouakchott this morning. In the airport in Senegal. So, Dakar to Nouakchott is basically just a 1-hour flight. But I went to the bathroom and found a couple of people doing ablutions. These two countries are mainly Muslim countries, so a lot of people do the ablution, wash their hair, their face, their hands, their feet. But I was not expecting what I saw in the bathroom. Two guys literally had raised their feet to the sink and were washing their feet high up there at the level of the sink, the basin, washing their feet. My initial response was that of shock or even dismay and disgust. Like, how could you do that? Like, don't you know this is for hands, and the face? But after my initial reaction of disdain and surprise, I paused. In fact, first I talked to them and said, why are you doing this? They said, oh, they're just doing the ablutions. It hadn't even occurred to them that this is odd. But then I stopped and reflected and realized, wow. Who says you cannot wash your feet in a sink? In fact, I remember the times when we had little children, that was one of the interesting things we learned to do, when the children are too young to be, put in a bathtub, etc. Sometimes you actually rinse them, wash them in a sink. Very convenient, and it's high enough, etc. Why am I sharing this? I am because sometimes we need to travel out of our comfort zone. Sometimes we need to read a book or something that is out of our usual field of study. Sometimes we need to have a conversation with someone who you usually not hang out with. We need to intentionally bring disruptive events and disruptors into our lives so that they get us to think differently, to think outside the box. Because what we may be thinking is normal may not have to be normal. So yes, you can wash your feet in a sink. Who says you can't? What are you doing in your life? What are you intentionally placing in your life? What are you intentionally scheduling to enable you think outside the box, get creative beyond the usual, and break old paradigms? Because things may not have to be the way you think they should. Traveling to Dakar and Nouakchott has certainly reminded me of that. Take care.